joined now by the zoo's owner, Joe Schreivogel. He is the one in charge of everything there. Mr. Schreivogel, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, let's start here with what matters the most. How is this woman doing? We don't know her name. Can you tell us anything about her and her condition?
I spoke to her last night on the telephone, and she's in good spirits, and the OU medical doctors and staff there were able to repair her arm and save her arm. She is going to go through another surgery this morning. She was in hopes to be able to contact her family herself last night. That was one of her wishes, was to be able to make the emergency contacts herself, but her family has been dealing with a death in the family, and she didn't want to add to their stress. So we respected her wishes of allowing her to make those calls. As soon as she's out of surgery this morning, I will go to the hospital and find out if she was able to make those calls, and if she was, we will be releasing her name and her statement at that time.
Okay, so you say that the worker blames the way she was feeding the tiger on this event. What does she say happened?
Well, you know, it kind of all happened all of a sudden. I was in a different area of the park when the emergency call came in, and I was the first one on the scene to render emergency medical aid. And at that time, the main focus was to stop the bleeding and save the woman's life. So the concern about the investigation that the zoo will perform ourselves of what exactly happened actually probably won't start until later today when she's out of surgery and able to talk, because at the scene at the tiger cage, it was not as much of how it happened as much as we were concerned in saving her life.
Well, the concern is obviously about whether or not the zoo is safe. You've come under fire before. Do you have a problem there in terms of safety with people working with the animals?
You know, this is our very first employee injury in 15 years. This is something that we have stringent protocols for, and we do as extensive training as possible. Other zoos actually use some of our protocols, and I would like to say that if it wasn't for our professional protocols, the emergency medical staff probably are the reason why we're dealing with just an injury instead of a death here. It's no different than training somebody to get a driver's license. All the driver's license place can do is train them, and if you choose to not use your blinker and cause a fatality accident, it's not the driver's license place's fault.
But you know
all we
that
can do is hire people and train people here.
But you know, Mr. Schreivogel, that you've had trouble with PETA, the Humane Society. There's been suspensions, a lot of negative attention put on the zoo for the way things are done there. Is this a reflection of what's not getting done right at your zoo? That's the question.
You know, I don't worry about what the Humane Society or PETA has to say about anything, because A, they're not here, B, they know nothing about our facility, and C, I really would rather not comment on an organization that killed 87% of the animals that they got their hands on last year, while we work 24/7 to rescue animals and give up everything in our lives to keep these animals alive. So what they have to say in the press really doesn't affect anything that goes on here. People that have been here and visited this zoo knows how nice this zoo is, how safe this zoo is. We've never had a customer injury to the point that any skin has ever been broke. This is our first incident here, and we really don't even want to entertain the comments of the Humane Society of the United States or PETA.
When they put out the video there where they said they spend months there undercover and they start revealing things, and you got that little kid with the baby tiger, it seems to hurt it, it's going to raise an alarm. You know that there's been a suspension. That's a real thing. That's not about an outside organization. You had to declare bankruptcy. You're asking for help paying your bills. These are all sources of concern. You must recognize that.
Okay, well, any nonprofit organization needs help paying their bills, or the Humane Society of the United States would not need to raise $500 million a year for their own organization. I think that's part of being a nonprofit organization, is you're running on public funds. In regards to the little boy with the tiger never even broke skin on that. We've been through the investigation with the USDA in regards to their so-called 6-month undercover investigation. The FBI is involved in that. There is an open FBI case for the Animal Terrorism Act, because one question is if someone was here during 6 months of abuse and they did not report the abuse, it must not have been that bad, or they would have contacted local authorities way before 6 months. The only time anybody was contacted, even myself, about any abuse was when they sent out a press release to raise money for their own organization, trying to get the people to believe that they were going to help our animals, which they have never done.
All right, well, Mr. Schreibvogel, I appreciate you answering the allegations and giving us information about the woman involved here. We hope she's well. Please pass along our regards.
We appreciate the chance to get the true story out, and right now our main focus is trying to make sure that our staff member stays healthy. Thank you.
Agreed on that. Take care, sir. Thank you.